Have you ever felt like someone's emotions are holding you hostage? Like you're drowning in their pain, their chaos, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't break free? Hi, I'm Emorations, and today we're diving into something raw, something real how to emotionally detach from anyone, guided by the brilliance of Carl Jung. This isn't about shutting down or turning cold. It's about reclaiming your peace, power, your life. Because let's face it, staying tangled in someone else's emotional web doesn't just drain you, it keeps you from becoming who you're meant to be. Stick with me, because these 5 rules could change everything. Let's start with a story. Picture Sarah. She's 32, a kind soul who's always been there for everyone. Her best friend Mark just went through a brutal breakup. Night after night, he calls her, unloading his heartbreak tears, anger, the works. Sarah listens. She comforts. She feels it all with him. But weeks turn into months, and Sarah's starting to crack. She's exhausted, snapping at her coworkers, losing sleep. She knows she needs to step back, but every time she tries, guilt pulls her right back in. What if he needs me? What if I'm abandoning him? Sound familiar? Maybe it's not a friend for you. Maybe it's a partner, a parent, a sibling, someone whose emotions have wrapped around your heart like vines, and you don't know how to cut free. Here's the question I want you to sit with. Why is it so hard to let go of someone even when you know they're pulling you under? Think about it. Who in your life is hard to detach from? Drop their name or just a word in the comments. I'll wait. This is where we start unpacking the mess together. So, why is it so tough? Carl Jung, the Swiss genius who mapped the human psyche, had some answers. He believed our emotions aren't just fleeting feelings, they're tied to something deeper, something unconscious. He called it the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves we don't always face. Sometimes, we cling to people because they reflect pieces of us we haven't dealt with: our fears, our need for approval, our unresolved wounds. For Sarah, Mark's pain echoes her own fear of being alone. She's not just helping him, she's holding on to a version of herself she's scared to let go of. Science backs this up too. Studies show our brains are wired for connection. Oxytocin floods us when we bond, making detachment feel like betrayal. But here's the kicker. Staying too attached can overload your nervous system. Chronic stress, anxiety, even burnout. It's what happens when you carry someone else's load too long. So tell me in the comments, what's one situation where you've felt stuck like this? Let's get real. If this is hitting home already, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We're building a community here, and I'd love for you to be part of it. Let's keep this energy flowing. Rule 1. Accepting the reality of change. Okay, let's get into the first rule. Accept the reality of change. Jung said, the most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm. But accepting change? It's brutal. People shift. Relationships fade. The person you swore you'd never lose might not fit in your life anymore, and that stings. Back to Sarah. She had to face that Mark wasn't the same friend he was before his breakup. He'd changed, and so had their dynamic. She kept hoping he'd snap back to the old Mark, the one who didn't need her 24/7. But clinging to that hope was like watering a dead plant. It wasn't coming back. Why is it so hard? Because change feels like loss, and loss feels like failure. Jung taught us that resisting change ties us to illusions, not reality. Here's your move. Think of one person you're holding on to who's already moved one emotionally, physically, whatever. Write their name down, just for you. Say it out loud. They've changed, and that's okay. Feel that shift? That's step 1. Now, let's talk about what happens when you don't accept change. It's pain pure and simple. Imagine Sarah still picking up Mark's calls, night after night, months, stretching into a year. She's not sleeping, her work's slipping, her friends are worried. She's miserable, but she tells herself, "I'm strong. I can handle this." That's resistance talking. Jung saw this as the ego fighting the unconscious string to control what's already gone. A study from UCLA found that people who resist emotional endings like breakups or faded friendships report higher levels of depression. Clinging doesn't save the connection, it poisons you. So, ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that's hurting me? Share it in the comments if you're brave enough. Let's release that weight together. Rule 2. Allow yourself to feel and process emotions. Jung believed emotions aren't the enemy, they're messengers. If you shove them down, they fester. Sarah tried that, pretending she was fine, forcing a smile. But one night, she broke. She sat on her couch, let the tears come, and just felt it all, the exhaustion, the guilt, the sadness. And you know what? It didn't kill her. It freed her. Here's how you do it. Next time you're overwhelmed by someone's hold on you, don't run from it. Sit with it. Grab a journal, scribble what you feel, anger, grief, whatever, or just cry it out. Research shows expressive writing cuts stress by 30%. It's science, not fluff. Try this. What's one emotion you've been avoiding? Tell me below. I'm listening. Embracing pain sounds crazy, right? But it's magic. When Sarah let herself feel, she stopped fighting herself. Jung called this integration, bringing the shadow into the light. That sadness she buried, it was telling her she'd lost herself in Mark's mess. By feeling it, she started healing it. Think of it like a wound. Ignore it, it gets infected. Clean it, it scars over stronger. A study in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that people who process emotions fully recover faster from emotional trauma. So don't fear the pain, it's your ticket out. What's one pain you're ready to face? Let's talk about it. Rule 3. Releasing false hope and letting go of the past. Jung said we project our inner world onto others. Sometimes we see what we want, not what's there. Sarah kept hoping Mark would get better and they'd go back to normal. False hope. It's a trap. Picture this. You're waiting for an apology that'll never come, or a fix that's not happening. That's not hope, it's denial. Letting go means seeing reality. They're not changing, and you don't need them to. Try this. Write down one what if you're stuck on. What if they come back? Burn it, rip it, let it go. How does that feel? Share your what if in the comments. Those what ifs are sneaky. They're illusions, Jung called projections. We cast our desires onto people, hoping they'll match the script. Sarah dreamed of Mark thanking her, being her old friend again. But that was her story, not his. Reality check. The past is done. A study from Stanford showed that ruminating on what could have been spikes cortisol stress city. Moving beyond it, that's freedom. Ask yourself, what if? Am I ready to ditch? Drop it below. Let's burn those illusions together. Rule 4. Reclaiming your emotional energy. Jung believed we leak energy when we're too tied to others' chaos. Sarah was giving hers away every call, every tear. Detachment is taking it back. How? Start small. Next time they vent, don't jump in, listen, but don't absorb. Picture your energy as a flame, shield it. Research says emotional overinvolvement raises burnout risk by 40%. You're not a sponge. What's one way you've given your energy away? Tell me, I've got your back. Boundaries are your superpower. Jung saw them as honoring your individuation, becoming your true self. Sarah finally told Mark, "I can't talk every night, I need space." He was mad, but she slept for the first time in weeks. Try this. Say no once this week. No, I can't right now. Feels weird? Good, that's growth. Studies show boundary. Setters report 50% less stress. What's one boundary you'll set? Share it, I'm cheering you on. Rule 5. Creating space for new beginnings and growth. Jung's big idea was individuation becoming whole. You can't do that if you're full of someone else's baggage. Sarah started painting against something Mark's drama had stolen. That space, it's where you bloom. Clear the clutter. Unfollow them. Mute the calls. Make room. A study from Yale found decluttering boosts creativity by 25%. What's one thing you'll clear out for yourself? Let me know below. Healing's not linear, it's messy, beautiful chaos. Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Sarah's still learning, but she's not Mark's crutch anymore. She's choosing herself. Trust it. One day, you'll look back and see how far you've come. Research shows self-directed healing cuts anxiety by 35%. What's one step you'll take forward? Drop it in the comments, let's move together. Here's the raw truth. If you don't detach, you're screwed. Not dramatically, quietly. You'll wake up in 5 years, still drained, still stuck, wondering where your life went. Sarah almost did. Jung warned that unprocessed attachments trap us in the past, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Science agrees. Chronic emotional overload hikes heart disease risk by 20%. But flip it, detach, and you're lighter, freer, alive. What's at stake if you don't let go? Feel that, then act. If this is lighting a fire in you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's stuck too. Let's spread this freedom together. Let's wrap this up. We've walked through 7 rules. Accept change. Feel your emotions. Release false hope. Reclaim your energy. Create space. Trust the process. And bonus, know your limits with boundaries. Sarah's story? It's yours too. You're not here to carry everyone, you're here to rise. One tip. Tonight, write down one person you'll start detaching from. Feel the relief already? If this moved you, check my video on Jung's shadow work. Next, it's deep stuff. Thanks for being here. You're stronger than you know. See you soon.